Thanks for joining us here on World Tech Update. I'm Nick Barber. Following a massive cyber attack, Sony Pictures has canceled the release of its controversial comedy, The Interview, after terrorist threats. The movie stars James Franco and Seth Rogen as two goofy journalists who land an interview with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and are instructed by the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency to assassinate him. U.S. intelligence officials have since concluded that the North Korean government was centrally involved in the cyber attacks on Sony's IT, according to a New York Times report published Wednesday. Sony Pictures was hacked in late November and has endured weeks of embarrassing leaks of corporate information onto the internet. The hackers have promised a Christmas gift of more data. Skype Translator now lets users have live conversations across different languages. Skype Translator Preview brings near real-time translation to invitees on Windows 8.1. When one user speaks, a computerized voice delivers the translation to another user. A transcription also appears in the sidebar next to the main video chat window. For now, the preview is limited to English and Spanish for voice transcription, though it supports IM conversations in more than 40 languages. The Navy is testing out an unmanned underwater vehicle that's shaped like a shark. Called the Ghost Swimmer, the UUV is 5 feet long and weighs about 100 pounds. It swims just like a fish by moving its tail back and forth. It can dive to 300 feet and gather data on tides, currents, and weather conditions. It can operate on its own or tethered to a laptop. The Navy said Ghost Swimmer will allow it to have success during more types of missions while keeping divers and sailors safe. And now it's over to Melissa Aparicio in San Francisco with more news.
Thanks, Nick. Uber is looking at using new background screening methods for its drivers next year. This comes as the company faces widespread concerns over the safety of its service. These new efforts include conducting background checks in more cities and countries, as well as improving communications with local law enforcement. Uber said it's developing tools for biometric and voice verification to enhance driver screening and is looking at giving riders a way to easily get in touch with the company during an emergency. The ride-sharing service is also exploring new ways to screen drivers around the world, which may even include polygraph tests. Recent incidents have put Uber's safety measures in the spotlight. This week, an Uber driver in Boston was charged with raping a woman, and a driver in New Delhi was also accused of rape. The review of its safety policies also comes after regulators in Los Angeles and San Francisco filed a lawsuit that accuses Uber of misleading consumers over the quality of its background checks. Uber didn't give an exact timeline for when the changes to the background checks will go into effect. Nick, back to you in Boston.
Thanks, Melissa. Imagine a car with no blind spots. That's one of the aims of the 360 Virtual Urban Windscreen, a prototype from Jaguar Land Rover. Using cameras that capture video from around the car, the pillars inside the car become virtually transparent. Pedestrians and cyclists will also be highlighted so that drivers are more aware of them. To aid drivers on crowded and confusing city streets, there's the ghost car function, which creates a virtual car that you can follow. That makes it a lot easier than sometimes having to guess which turn is the right one when following your GPS. Well, that's our show for this week. Thanks for joining us here on World Tech Update. We'll be off for the next few weeks with our next show from CES in Las Vegas on January 9th. You won't want to miss it. From all of us here at IDG, happy holidays, and we hope you all have a great new year. We'll see you next time from Vegas.